I should be like you, Melvin.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, Cherries fans from around the world, wherever it is that you're watching. Welcome back to another edition of Cherry Slaps. Another interesting one for us to get into. As always, welcome back my co-host, Malcolm Chiverton. Welcome, Malcolm. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks. Hope you're well.
All good, thanks. All good. Could be happier, obviously.
Yeah.
As always, with the results and the points on the board, but it is what it is, and we'll pick it apart in just a moment. I know that we may not have too many live viewings tonight because there is football on the other side, but it's just what happens when there's Monday night football for us. So let's get into it. Obviously, a draw at Brighton. It didn't go the way I expected, put it that way. And as always, and as you're aware, getting a bit tired of the 90-plus minute goals. However, I think this one was a little bit different, wasn't it? So, before we get to that, let's get into the first half. And I mean, both teams kind of came out looking pretty organised. Trying to have early attempts at each other's goal with energy and possession from both sides, really, up until the penalty decision. Talk us through it.
Yeah. Well, the first 10 minutes, Brighton were on the front foot. Yeah, we did have a couple of breakaways, but they sort of controlled it quite quickly. Quickly through our midfield, and I'm just thinking, come on, lads, sort yourselves out. And they just got their act together, and then they started playing the game that they know they can play. And they were superb from like the 10th minute onwards in that first half. I thought, wow, really going for it. Lovely football. And Brighton didn't really have an answer. And I suppose, I loved listening to what their trainer said, Hertzler. This morning, I watched some of the interviews and everything. He's such a fair guy, and he said we just couldn't find an answer. So halftime for him was like a blessing, quite rightly so. But yeah, what can you say? Penalty? Question mark? Oh, I mean, at first glance, I thought the referee's got it spot on, with the yellow card, and let the play carry on. But once again, VAR likes to get involved, rightly or wrongly. And it was only when they started showing it back, I'm thinking, see, in real time, you couldn't see that.
Yeah. And it's not often that you see it overturned in such respect, right? Going from a yellow card and almost simulation to a penalty and then a goal from Tav. But again, great refereeing. We're seeing a lot of decent standard refereeing, I'd like to say.
It depends how you look at it. I mean, obviously, if you listen to the pundits, I mean, even they're like divided on this, is it a penalty or not? Was it enough? But I mean, the rules are the rules. I mean, you just got to take it on the chin. I felt, we got away with one, to be honest with you. But obviously, you take it. And Tav put it away brilliant. It's and I think over the first half, thoroughly deserved to be in front. There was another opportunity. Evan Nielsen, a brilliant header, just wide of the post. I think, wow, if that had gone in 2-up half time, that would have been perfect, really. But it is what it is. And I did expect Brighton to come out in the second half, with maybe a different mindset. And obviously, if you looked at their bench, crikey, so I mean, we could dream of having a bench like they had. I mean, what did we have? 4 academy players on the bench for us, and they Minte was here, and Believer, and the youngster that scored the goal. I mean, wow, it was to be honest, it was a really fair result, 1-1 over 90 plus minutes. I'm not going to.
I'd openly disagree with you if we'd have capitalised on the momentum from that penalty in the first half, which I genuinely think we should have. I think that's the way the game should have gone. I think that's why I was a bit disappointed at the end, is because we that first half we should have capitalised on. So it's as simple as that. We didn't. There was a couple of chances that were missed. And as you mentioned, hi Liam, how you doing? Yeah, great.
Hi Liam.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's better than 0 points for sure. 3 points would have been ideal, taking us up to level with Brighton. But it is what it is, and at the moment, we were resilient last night. You could see we were giving it our all. I mean, as you said, Jimenez, Scott, Tav, we had some fantastic performances and some great efforts, but just couldn't quite do it. And I think you've hit the nail on the head there with our bench. Usually, I'm the first person to get excited about subs coming on in the second half and how our second half starts to look with our bench in play. And we don't have that at the moment. Is it a question of squad depth? Obviously, we've got a few issues with injuries and it's January. We've got some people coming in. So
new one in today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think it's not the only one, is it, in the last week or two?
No. Is it Adi Solanka? He actually played in the academy side last week. I actually watched. So he was in Serbia.
Yeah.
And obviously, with Fraser, the goalkeeper. And I do believe there's 2 others that are, I wouldn't say hopeful, but they're certainly looking at getting 2 others in. Now, how close we are, obviously the club won't mention it, but there are pointers, another couple are possibilities. So but to be honest with you, you can't. I know our squad depth now looks quite depleted, but players will be coming back. It's good to see Ryan Christie back. So he obviously needed the minutes. But on the downside, and we're not sure about this, could Tav be out at the weekend?
Possibly.
It's quite difficult. Yeah, so the players actually, turn out. I mean, they gave their all. There were some really tired legs out there last night, and my standout man was Alex Jimenez. Wow, it just unbelievable. What performance he had. Not sure, but I think he got man of the match, didn't he?
I think so. Yep.
So he's just carrying on where he left off. It's like considering how I wouldn't say it was a shaky start. Obviously, a bit nervous, when he first came in. And I mentioned this, was it a week or so ago, that first 3 games, 3 yellow cards, and it's time to think, we know he can be a little bit, aggressive, if you like. And when you step into the Premier League, there's things you have to learn quite quickly, and one of those is adaptability from La Liga into.
Yeah.
So, but he curbed this attitude. He didn't sort of put the brakes on. He is still quite aggressive, but his timing is better. Going into a tackle or whatever. And to think that he could have got a suspension. When he got out the 4 cards, but he rode it out. And I take my hat off to players that can actually do that, because you do it for the team, obviously. Some yellow cards are, to me, they're just pointless. Taking too long for a throw in and things like that. I mean, they're giveaways, aren't they, really? But
yeah, and I think you're right. I think he was one of those players, his skills just need honing a little bit and just needed winding in a little bit. Obviously came in, as you said, aggressive. And yellow cards, obviously I remember those first couple of games. I remember the instances. I remember how quick he was, or how eager, should I say, to get his football. I think sometimes eagerness can be mistaken for being a bad footballer, right? But I think that's one of the skills that Iriola's got, is being able to hone those skills and make them useful for the positions that they're playing in. And Jimenez is really starting to shine. He's going to be another one of those special players that I think increases value over, if not this season, next season for sure.
I mean, I think our last show we actually mentioned this. Before we go on, is this Craig that's in here?
I would imagine so. Yeah, Craig or Matt.
Yeah.
Yep.
So good evening to you. And Kostulas.
We're going to come to this 18-year-old sub, wonder sub. That's probably created goal of the month, I'd say.
He's certainly going to be up there for it, isn't he?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely it is. Yeah.
But that's 2 now, isn't it? Parina. For Tottenham against us, overhead kick. And now this one.
Yeah.
They.
It says it's Craig on that chat, and it says on FC 26, when you get into 25 years old, he becomes the best player in the world. This is according to some website I was reading yesterday. Should be creepy. Hashtag should be creepy. Interesting.
Different type of player.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. Different type of player.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to think where we were. Sorry, mate.
That's okay. That's all right. Well, I wanted to steamroll into the second half, because obviously you mentioned that coming out of the second half, Brighton had to make an impact. We should have obviously capitalised from the first half, leading for a penalty. It did shake them up a little bit, but as the game went on, they continued to gain composure. They continued to press us back into a pressurised position, and it was definitely coming our way. So. Yeah, you can understand why people think it's a fair 1-1 for sure.
But what some brilliant defending we did.
I think it was sustained pressure, and it was always going to pay off for them. But we lasted the whole of the second half again. I know that we keep our glass half full, and I always try and turn my negatives into positives, and I guess that's probably the biggest one from last night, is again how resilient we are and how we just continue to try and defend that ball no matter who's coming against us, and they were as well. They had us under pressure for a ton of that. So we lucked out with a point, and I think at this moment in the season we can be really thankful for that, given where we are. I think we've got Liverpool next and Wolves at the end of the month, and technically two fairly important games.
Every game's important, and
Yeah,
you take
of course,
you take as many points as you can. But wow, what a couple of weeks in the Premier League with the results! It just absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
So for every point you're gaining, I know we haven't had like a decent run for a while. Okay, we had, draw Chelsea, lost Arsenal, win Tottenham, and now again at Brighton a draw. But it's just ticking away at it, putting some more points on the board, which is fine. And the performances as well has been, so for me that is really key. When we went off the boil, I won because I'm very positive about most things. I was concerned because we lost our discipline in one game, and then we had a really poor performance against Everton. I was thinking, well, come on, let's get back to how we know we can play, and only turn that around very, very quickly, to be honest with you. So
yeah. And again, I think if you look at our previous fixture against Brighton, which was tough, again, a fantastic performance from their strikers, a memorable game. I think if you look at some of the stats from this game as well, like we weren't on point. We had 2 shots on target out of 11 shots, which for us is low. Our passing accuracy was probably 10% lower than normal, 73%. Our amount of passes, 269. That's probably 100 or 200 lower than what it usually is. So I think Brighton were able to understand and shut us down. Obviously, we haven't got our main team together, or the main team that we have. So, there's a number of variables, a number of variables that led to that. So I think, all in all, happy to take a point away, and now sitting 15th on 27 points, 2 points above Leeds, and the same amount of points as Tottenham.
Yep.
Could be worse. It really could be worse.
Of course.
I think the next couple of games for Leeds put them in a bit of a better position than we are at the moment. I think they've got a bit more chance. And Tottenham, obviously, are a roller coaster of a team as it is anyway. So,
this is what I'm saying. You couldn't have predicted that they'd lose at home to West Ham, could you?
No, not a chance. No.
I mean, what's going on there?
And again, you don't want to see too many of them from West Ham either. Crikey.
But it's, our old mate Callum Wilson popping up, and he's only on a game-by-game contract, isn't he? So absolutely ridiculous, to be honest with you. But I think, once get to the end of January and, this bloody window closes, and you know what you got. I haven't a clue.
January is a turbulent month, isn't it? It's always a turbulent month.
Yeah.
I think people expect players not to leave mid-season, but we've been hit with that as well.
It's the hardest transfer window to do business. And that's why they're in so much movement.
Yeah.
Clubs want to keep their players. Obviously, there are exceptions, but you can understand why. You want them to stay to the end of the season, and then you've got plenty of time in the summer to sort your business out, basically, recruit. I mean, we're very fortunate, our recruitment team is really up there with the best. I've got no fears at all. So obviously, on this, we welcome Alex Toth today to the club.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting. 3 Alexes in the team. Yeah.
A lot harder for the guys on the pitch, I'd imagine.
I remember back in the 80s, we had 3 Seans in our team. We had Sean O'Driscoll, Sean Teal, and Sean Brooks, all in the same team.
Yeah.
So it was quite an amusing thing, when the stadium used to announce, the team, and we would shout out Sean to everybody, before their names out. Oh, look, another Sean's playing tonight. Good evening, Manny.
Good evening, Manny.
Thank you for joining us.
Says unlucky to have to share the points, but good signs for the rest of the season. And Alex Tough has been confirmed. Yeah.
We know.
Any positives to be taken away? Obviously, ideally, you want 3 points, and that would be fantastic. But it never happens that way in football. So these things happen. We take the wins where we can get them, right, Mal? And
Absolutely. And this season is just so ridiculous. You cannot say with 100% certainty those 100% wins. You're not going to get points there, or
Yeah, and again, losing to a dramatic overhead kick from an 18-year-old substitute. There's only so much.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can moan about that, isn't there? So
I'm not going to even moan about it, because over 90 minutes plus, it was an absolutely fair result. We had the first half, they had the second. We defended and fought all over the field. It's just a shame we couldn't keep the ball a little bit longer in the second half. But like I said, there were just so many tired legs out there. And obviously, players cramping up, one thing another. Others will come.
Yep, Manny says it. I think you'll get some wins later on this season, and then you can take it from there into next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ever growing. We've
got no worries about that. It's take each game as it comes, which is the best way to do it. The opposition, obviously, they're going to be fighting. It doesn't matter if they're at the top or at the bottom. But it appears that every club seems to be going through like a sticky patch. It's just so unpredictable now this season. It makes it exciting, for a football fan. But if you are, let's just say, you're a fan of a particular club, obviously you want them to win and win and win. And you see performances that turn out pretty dire. And then maybe a couple of weeks down the line, they turn it around and start playing the best football ever. You just can't account for it all.
No, you cannot. No. And more excitingly, Liverpool to come. So
yeah. I mean, that's going to be interesting, to put it mildly. Obviously, the first thing we're going to ask is our first starting lineup.
Yeah.
We'll know more about that later on in the week, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely we will. Yeah.
And what sort of...
You'll get the normal shows as well, won't they? They'll get the normal Dean Court socials and the build-up shows. So keep tuned, stay tuned, and stay ready for those. Not too much left to discuss on the Brighton game. We were going to clock out anyway and keep it a fairly short show. Bear with me just a moment.
Got to bear with you for a minute. Okay.
And no, we're just going to slowly close the show out now, to be fair. So what we'll do is we'll get ready for Liverpool next week. Keep your eyes out.
Looking forward to it.
All the other shows in between now and then, because it's not that far away now, is it? It's just at the weekend.
It is indeed Saturday. Yeah.
It's already Tuesday. So
there's also another show coming up, isn't there? With Matt and Paul from Oz.
I'm not sure. Go ahead.
It is. I can't remember what it's called. It's actually up on the when we log in. You'll have to have a look at it.
Yeah,
but it'll be promoted up on the Facebook page anyway.
Yeah,
for anybody that wants to watch it. So
yeah, keep your eyes out, keep your eyes peeled, and me and Mal will be back on your screens next Monday for another edition of Cherry Slaps.
Enjoy your Chinese, mate.
Thank you so much, mate. Up the cherries. Ciao for now.
Up the cherries.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Melvin.